This is Retiring Today. I'm here with Haley Gutschenritter and Loren Merkle, and we are answering 10 of your most important retirement questions. It's time for number 3. Should I pay off my mortgage before I retire?
Well, you're going to love the answer to this, and the answer is really, it depends. There are pros to paying off your mortgage. One of them is that you would have more control over your income in retirement. The reason why is because you would have less fixed expenses, which means that you have more control over that discretionary income if you need to spend that income or not. But I will say that most retirees have saved and saved and saved in these pre-tax vehicles, and they've never paid taxes on this money before. So if you are going to be withdrawing a large lump sum from your IRA accounts, well, that's a taxable distribution. So you want to make sure that if paying off your mortgage is something that you want to accomplish, that it incorporates in your plan and it's done in the most tax efficient manner.
What we're seeing is more and more people are going into retirement with a mortgage, but what we do a lot of times is we'll create an accelerated mortgage repayment plan because they don't want to carry that mortgage for the next 10, 20, 25 years into the retirement. So we'll take a look at the resources they have and how are those resources going to be taxable, and maybe we'll accelerate that to a 5-pay, right? Have it paid off within 5 or 3 years to give them more discretion on their monthly income, which gives them more control over where this monthly income is actually going.
Yeah, I think there's some good tips to take out of the answers you guys gave, but I think what we're going to see, we've got 7 more of these, is that it just kind of depends on your overall situation. Don't make the decision, hey, we've got to pay off the mortgage, but then have maybe some other debt that's at a higher interest rate that you aren't, paying off. I mean, that wouldn't be a good decision.
Yeah, and the biggest debt that most pre-retirees and retirees have is the debt to the IRS. And we don't want to be so focused on saying, I can't go into retirement with a mortgage, I can't go into retirement with a mortgage, and then have a 30% expense off of the distribution you take from your IRA just to pay off the mortgage. There's a lot better ways that we can pay off the mortgage through an accelerated repayment program.
Question number 4, should I take my pension as an annuity or a lump sum?
This is something that we have to evaluate for everybody. The annuity, most pensions today will offer a lump sum, and that is a very attractive option for many people. With that pension, you want to compare what is the monthly annuity payment that they would pay you versus what that lump sum amount is, and then look at the break-even age for that annuity versus the lump sum. A lot of the good pensions, like the state of Iowa pension, that break even for most people is going to be somewhere around 9 to 10 years. That is really nice, which is why with IPERS, very few people are going to take the lump sum. They're going to take the monthly payment. For other corporate pensions, that break even might be out to the 14 to 15 years. Well, then for a lot of people, it's more attractive to take the lump sum, have more control over that money. So you just want to evaluate what the annuity payment versus the lump sum, and then also the other resources you have for retirement. That will give you a complete answer.
And one thing that often people don't think about is the financial strength of the pension company. So that should go into the equation as well. If the pension company wasn't financially strong and you were concerned that they wouldn't be able to pay out your pension if you elected that, well then that may defer you to a lump sum option. But again, that's going back to the fundamentals of the company and seeing how great their financial strength is.
Yeah, that's a good point. Every once in a while we hear about a company going under and then the pension plan being, impacted by that.
Yeah.
Question number 5, how should I invest my money when I retire? And I want a 1-sentence answer from you. That's it, 1 sentence.
1 sentence? You're asking for a lot, Molly, but I'm going to give it my best shot.
Okay.
How about this one? You're going to need to invest it differently.
That is a great start.
Which is different than what a lot of people think. A lot of people think, well, you've been investing for the last 40 years. It has worked to get you to the point you're at. So why not continue to invest it the same way? Well, we do know through experience that continuing on with the same accumulation investment style through your decumulation years doesn't always work, because we go through these things called recessions on average every 5 to 6 years. 2022 is a great example of when the NASDAQ was down 34%, the S&P 500 was down 20%, the average 60% equity, 40% bond portfolio was down in excess of 20%. That's not the experience that most pre-retirees or retirees want from an investment portfolio. When you're 40 years old, you're down 30%, kind of like an 08, 30% plus. It's not fun, but it's okay because you have more time. When you need to take an income from your life savings and it's down 30+%, that can destroy retirement. So you have to invest differently in retirement than what you're used to pre-retirement.
So on top of that, a good place to start when you're thinking about how I should invest my money in retirement is understanding the amount of risk that you are taking in your portfolio. Because if you can understand the amount of risk that you're taking, that's going to give you less surprises when we do incur these market corrections or these recessions and prevent you from making any knee-jerk decisions with your investments.
Yeah, we call that managing expectations. If you know prior to going into these downturns in the market that you're taking risks that your portfolio would be down 15%, maybe as opposed to 30%, and you're comfortable with that, well, when your portfolio goes down 15%, that's just a part of the investment package that you put together, and you're not surprised by it. Eliminating or at least minimizing those surprises can go a long way when investing in retirement.
Yeah, you guys talk a lot about helping families build recession-resistant portfolios, and I think, of course, if you don't do what Loren and Haley do, that's kind of a big concept, right? But a really neat way to see exactly what that looks like is our online Journey to Retirement workshop.
Yeah, we give a really good example in our online Journey to Retirement workshop of how Mr. and Mrs. Jones do create a recession-resistant portfolio, and we go one step further and compare that to what their portfolio was pre-retirement and why and how they made those changes so they can manage the downsides of their portfolio in one of the most important times of their life where they're actually dependent, their lifestyle is dependent upon that portfolio surviving the rest of their life.
So if you want to see this play out, you can sign up for our online Journey to Retirement workshop. The information is on your screen right now. We've got another question to answer though. 6, oh, this is a big one. How will I afford medical expenses in retirement? You guys have seen the numbers, so I pulled some of the latest stuff. Fidelity does a study every year, and they say that an average couple age 65 in 2022 made in approximately $315,000 saved after tax to cover healthcare expenses. By the way, that does not include long-term care.
There's a lot of people smiling about the show probably before the number of 315,000, and then you're sitting there on the couch saying, I only have 600,000, only 600. 600,000 is a lot of money.
Right.
But then you look at 315,000 in retirement for healthcare alone.
It's gone. You feel like it'd be gone. Your money would be gone.
Not including long-term care. Like, how is this gonna work? And I can tell you there's a lot of people that do retire with $500,000, $600,000, $400,000, and can still afford health care throughout the course of the retirement. You have to make the health care plan a big part of your overall retirement and income plan to make sure that you're confident and you're comfortable saying you're not going to work anymore for the rest of your life and you're still going to be able to provide from a health care standpoint, because you can do it, but you have to build that healthcare plan into your retirement plan, and hopefully you do that before you retire.
And that's really the benefit of having Anna Marie here. She is our healthcare director at Merkle Retirement Planning, and so she works alongside with us so that we can build the healthcare plan into their retirement plan. It's something that we know you're going to have expenses for later down the road, so it needs to be built into your income plan, and there are strategies that Anna Marie talks about that can help them afford healthcare even if you do retire before age 65.
Yeah, we saw in the last segment 64% of people expected to retire at 65 plus. I think a lot of that has to do with eligibility for Medicare at age 65, but the median retirement age is actually 62, which means there's a whole lot of people out there that have to find this gap insurance from 62 to Medicare age eligibility of 65, and Anna Marie helps out a lot with our families to find that gap, whether it's the ACA or the open healthcare market or COBRA insurance, whatever that is, to make sure that gap's filled. Thank you for watching this clip of Retiring Today, and don't forget to subscribe. If you have questions about your retirement plan, take advantage of the complimentary 15-minute retirement checkup phone call.